Welcome to Marital Hate. So I'm so glad there's people here. I actually just want to let people know that we're back because we're not usually here. Welcome to Marital Hate. So I'm so glad there's people here. I actually just want to let people know that
hang
we're
on.
back
What?
because we're not usually here. Welcome to Marital Hate. So I'm so glad
Hang
there's
on.
people here. I actually just
Echo.
want to let people know that
Hang on. Come plug your computer in quick.
I'm coming.
Welcome to Marital Hate.
I can't. How many times am I going to repeat?
I'm just going to keep repeating. Plug your computer. Give us 1 second.
How many times am I going to repeat?
I'm just going to keep repeating. Plug your computer. Give us 1 second. Give us 1 second.
Welcome to Marital Hay. Just 1 second. Oh, welcome to Marital Hay.
Fuck off. This all happened because you weren't here.
There's a lot. There's a lot of prep work.
We have a system.
Sal.
We have a system. What are you doing?
Nothing. It just looks super dark in here tonight.
Okay. I have like 9 things to say. First of all, there's a dog whistle. It's driving me
There's
crazy.
a dog whistle.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. It's all Doug's fault. Not really.
Probably.
A little.
Well, I'm not a technical person. Perhaps.
No, it's just that we needed you to be plugged in because I have us going on multiple, because I do different things than Doug does for the podcast. Doug is mostly here and pretty. And when we talk about back end technical stuff, that's usually on me. So, welcome to Marital Hate.
Welcome
I am
back
Stacey.
to Monday this week.
Day is going right now.
It looks like it's on fire.
You're on fire. Welcome to Marital Hate. Did you go public on your Facebook page?
I did. Yeah, baby. That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know what's going on in our neighborhood. I don't know what's going on here. They're giving people donuts next door. I want a donut. Can we just scream, I want a donut? Tracy says hello.
I wonder if we'd get a donut.
Hello to some of my favorite peeps. Tracy says we are an echo loop. Hope that was fun for everyone.
That was interesting.
And Uriel's laughing his ass off. Y'all know we love Uriel. He has a great product. We call it the Ranadon Spot. It's ranadon.com, ranidon.com. He sells this little speaker, super cute, small, portable, cheap.
But big on power.
I think they're like $30, but it's like basically a Beats pill. Like it's amazing. It sounds great. And for like a portion of the cost. Yeah. Tracy says, love y'all.
Oh, that's very
girl.
nice.
We love you.
You know what I think the darkness is I think somebody moved that chair so that we're not getting the full-on effect of the lights from over there. Look at that. That just warmed you up. I'm still like, I look like a corpse over here with the blue light.
Well, we did have lit ring. We have 2.
Yeah, we do.
Do you want to go get your light and clean it?
No, that's fine. It's fine. It's like spooky night.
We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Spooky night.
Anyway, welcome to Marital Hate. I'm Stacey. This is Doug. We don't hate each other. Not usually.
Sometimes.
But last week, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Last week,
wasn't good.
Homeboy lost his fucking shit. One good.
Homeboy. That's not a way to refer to your homeboy husband. Homeboy. How am I homeboy? Well, I do live in this home.
Just trying to make you don't leave the house. So there's that. But I was just like, I don't know, just trying to be cool like 50 years ago. So anyway.
Speaking of cool, Dave Ethier is here.
Hello, David. Dave.
And Tracy loves corpses.
Tracy.
Weird.
I don't know that you want to start off a conversation with that, but
I love corpses.
And so did Jeffrey Dahmer and like.
Yeah, but he liked making corpses out of live humans and making roasts out of them.
Did he fuck the dead
I don't know if he probably, I don't know. He made food out of them or something, didn't he?
I don't know. Anyway, if you haven't been here before, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Because you're about to be horrified. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything. We have a good time. We do our best to support our friends and our friends who own businesses and just
people that
we try to make people laugh, bring people together, maybe share a little information with you. And now we've got our kids helping out with the podcast.
Working on things.
2 of the 6 2 of them. Wesley gave us some hot topics for today.
Hot topics. We should have like a little segment. Hot topics.
Yeah, he's providing us with current events, and we're gonna see. It's kind of a trial to see how it goes if it helps us with the podcast. The ones he gave us for today look pretty good, but I think it's going to take a little while to get the kinks out.
That was a slow news day. We'll come up with something good.
Same thing happened. Nolan is doing clips for us, and so Nolan just did the second round of clips, the short clips that we've been posting, and they needed a little brushing up. It takes a little while, so he's going to redo some, and we'll take it from there because it's we don't have a lot of money. Everything we put into the podcast, it's coming out of pocket. So we're doing our best.
I go around the highway and collect cans.
Sometimes. I don't even know that it says on the bottle, is there recycling in Florida? I don't think we do. For money? I don't think that that's a thing.
Iowa?
We don't live in Iowa.
Something.
So I do want to,
Maine.
while Doug is doing his research on this very important topic, so you can know if you can make money on I think that if you could make money on recyclables in Florida, people would be going through our recycling.
Well, what you do is you go to a place that doesn't have them, collect them, use them, and then bring them to.
Smells good.
It's a grapefruit.
But it's funny that your seltzer smells good.
Trader Joe's is just is good.
So we have a whole bunch that we want to fill you in on, and we will. Tracy says no, Florida sucks about recycling.
Yeah,
Florida.
There are no rules.
I love living here. There's so many things I like, but I don't feel like we're like the most environmentally friendly state because we're always spraying for bugs instead of releasing praying mantises or like bats or something that's like a natural predator.
Imagine bats in Florida. They would be eaten by the bigger bats that some guy released as a pet.
That could go sour south very quickly.
Yeah.
I had to make some phone calls today.
Yes.
So every once in a while your bank will charge you for something and you're like, what the fuck is this charge for? Or maybe you dip your balance below the minimum required amount.
Or you run out of money and they yell at you.
No, there was a fee for something, or you run out of money. Fortunately, we did not run out of money yet. But what had happened was I have a whole bunch of stupid little shit that's happening with our banks, and it's really really super important that you stay on top of your accounts because these banks will fuck you right in the ass.
That's how they get you.
They will fuck you right in the ass and not even buy you dinner, which I feel like you had to buy me a Jeep before you got the ass. Like, I feel like they should have to, a little bit more than that. We're married. Why do you look like that?
I was just thinking I can't afford to buy another Jeep, so I guess I'm going dry. I've reached the dry white season of my life.
I got to be honest with you. I'm having so many butthole problems right now. I really don't want you there.
That's always nice.
People
sharing.
Back to my fucking story. I guess we should pull up the comment. Trace says, and you think they would because 3/4 of the state is surrounded by water, not to mention the lakes throughout the state. A lot of toxic things happening in Florida and throughout the globe, but I'm not particularly happy about it. Dave says, I have to get you untouched with my sister. She owns Rags A Go-Go. She would love this.
Oh, we would take Rags A Go-Go as we would promote them.
So we would like to.
I don't know what Rags A Go-Go is. Is that a feminine product? Or Rags A Go-Go?
So many things. Could be so many things. Well, David, we would love to talk to your sister. Maybe even have her on the pod. Actually,
didn't even know Dave had a sister. I thought he was one of one.
Small business. Wait, so Dave, I need
he's a Wormtown guy.
Wormtown guy. So
Alex and the Droogs.
You didn't try to put moves on his sister at some point?
I don't even know he had a sister. What the hell do I know?
Maybe you Dave, can you send pics of your sister? Maybe some nudes. See if Doug might be interested.
just the rag stuff, please.
Okay, well there you go.
Can
I get back to
I'm not soliciting any pictures of Dave's sister.
I am. Maybe she's not.
Send them to Stacy, care of.
So we had 3 things happen. Wells Fargo sent us a check, apparently, that we never got. Then we got a letter from Wells Fargo saying, hey, can you cash this check? And we're like, what check are you talking about? I had to look it up, make sure it wasn't a scam because I don't want to call some banking number, give away all my information. And they're like, oh, we stole all your money. And so, I called Wells Fargo and I talked to.
Which one you call, Wells or Fargo?
I actually talked to both, and I talked to, I wrote these names down. This chick had the coolest name. Because and it was funny because I watched a TikTok this morning and it was like it was a teacher, and it was in like a black school, and it was a black teacher in a black school.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
was calling out the kids' names. They all had these very unique names.
Like AA Ron.
And look, of course they were like poking fun at like,
Yeah.
you know, names within the black community. And for me, all I could think of is like my kids have boring, like we're basic. Our kids have boring names.
boring
Oh, Nolan's name is like, that's one you don't hear every day. But like, you know, my kids' names are like, you know, they're
Jeff,
great names, but they're old
Dave.
school.
Sorry, Dave. Speaking of Dave says big time vintage clothing store in New York City. Look at that.
We would love to support her in any way that we can. So the women at Wells Fargo were Dejanique and Diamond, and they were super nice. And then I also talked to
Dejanique.
Talked to Nicole at Chase. She got me my $35 back.
Sounds hideous.
But my favorite of all of the people I talked to
was
Jesse at Bank of America, who told me he's going to watch the pod tonight. So I don't know if Jesse, if you're here,
Jesse's
but
viewership.
we're glad you're here. Jesse is a boy, not a girl.
I wish I had Jesse's testicles.
So in any case, Jesse, if you're here, say hi. We can see your comments no matter where you come
Or don't
from.
say hi.
We'll pull you up on screen. You could be horrified. Yeah, we're going to talk about some stuff, but we're glad you're here.
She said if you don't watch Jesse, she's going to report you to corporate. She has the number.
No, I told Jesse to start his own company and leave that fucking shitty corporate.
Yeah, I actually heard you say
Fuck
that.
Bank of America. I also told Jesse, because, you know, you guys should know what it's like to be a customer service person on the phone with me. I'm standing there while I'm talking to Jesse, and he's being so nice and like super polite, and like when you're talking to these banking customer service people, you can tell that they get like abused all day long by fucking angry people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my thing is like, if I'm going to call customer service,
you'll be all nice.
I'm going to be so nice. And I always start out like super nice. And sometimes like as time goes on and people are, the only thing I won't fucking stand for is incompetence. Like, they're just doing their job. But if you're incompetent, that's a different story. So in any case, I will get frustrated if you're incompetent. Jesse was brilliant. He was delightful. But all four of the customer service people that I spoke to today, they seemed like they were like abused. Like they were like, I'm putting you on hold for 2 minutes. Please don't get mad at me. And then they like come back and they're like, okay, well, I got to put you on hold again. Please don't be mad at me. I'm like, no, dude, it's cool. It's okay. I appreciate you. And like Jesse was going to give me this whole explanation as to why we got an $8 fee.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
We have to have $500 in our savings account. And like, we have a couple accounts, but we have to have $500 in our savings account. So we have $500 in our savings account. And, but I had pulled it out because I was like, well, why do I have all this money with Bank of America? You know, all this $500 when I can get 4.5% at Chase. But then I'm like, oh, I've had this account for a really long time. So I pulled money out and just left like $50 in it.
Sure.
Bank of America charged us $8, and they're
so
like,
now we have $42.
So then they're like,
it's like a fifth
so I'm
of
like,
our,
hey,
our wealth.
why did you charge me $8? And they're like, you have to have 500. And I'm like, okay, cool. Can you please waive that? And I'll put money in. But it's an average daily balance of 500.
An average.
So the way that the bill, so
goes,
this is what happens.
Okay,
This is the crazy thing.
Yeah.
On the 8th,
or
whatever date it is, your statement cycle ends and they bill you again. And when they bill you again, you drop back down. So now I'm in this ever-ending loop of bank fees.
Right.
So we already know that next month they're going to charge me a fee. I'm going to have to call back again next month. But Jesse was like super cool. He explained everything. He was very patient with me.
Jesse, hook us up.
He was just awesome. He had good energy. I liked him. I just liked him.
Waiver.
He was from Wisconsin. And all I could think of is my friend Jan Janssen. Do you guys know my friend Jan Janssen?
No, we don't.
Let me tell you a little about him. He comes from Wisconsin, like my friend Jesse. He works on a lumberyard there. When he walks down the street, all the people that he meets, because apparently people in Wisconsin are very friendly, they say hello, and he says hello, and they say, what's your name? And he tells them, my name is Jan Janssen. I come from Wisconsin, and I work in the lumberyard there.
That's a pretty vague thing, though, Jan. You know, I work in the lumberyard there, meaning the whole entire state of Wisconsin. Could you narrow it down for us, please, Jan?
Oh, no, he doesn't want you to like try to steal his shit. What is? I have hair problems. So in any case, I kind of wanted Jesse, like I want Jesse's last name to be Johnson, and I wanted to be like, So if you're
Jesse Johnson, actually the guitar player, the very, very talented guitar player for the time.
Okay, but hear me out. Let's pretend Jesse's last name is Johnson. I don't know his last name, but I wish it was.
What if it was the guy from the time? Talented MF. Seriously, one of the.
Well, wait, is the guy from the
guitarists.
time isn't Jesse? It's Morris Day, isn't it?
The guitar player from the time is Jesse Johnson.
I hope
had songs such as
Jesse
"Crazy
had
for
to fucking
You."
work yesterday and started watching football, and I think I ruined the fucking final result for him. So sorry, Jesse.
Yeah,
But I just feel like my name is so the Jan
Jesse
Janssen
Johnson.
song, right? The Jan Janssen, it's really a song. But I may have recently spent time with somebody who was really high, and I just kept repeating a story about this Jan Janssen
Janssen
guy
fella.
over and over again, and he kept asking me questions, trying to figure out what the fuck I was talking about, but he was just really high.
It just kept going
And
going.
So it was really funny. So anyway, so you're supposed to sing it. My name is Jan Janssen. I come from Wisconsin. I work in the lumber yard there. When I walk down the street, all the people I meet say hello.
Hello.
And I say hello, and they say, "What's your name?" And I say, "My name is Jan Janssen. I come from Wisconsin. I work in the."
It's like 99 bottles of beer. Only it's endless because there
so
are no
bad.
numbers that go down.
It's kind of like, I know a song that gets on everybody's nerves. Do you know that one?
No, I don't know that one.
I know
it
a
now.
song that gets on everybody's nerves. I know a song that gets on everybody's nerves, and this is how it goes. I know a song that gets on.
Why do you know these? I don't know any of these
Because
annoying
I
things
must
that
have
you
been
know.
a delight as a goddamn child. No wonder no one likes me.
I'm
So
just glad you're mature now.
I'm not. I'll never be mature. So anyway, I think it should be, my name's Jesse Johnson. I come from Wisconsin. I work at Bank of America there. I don't leave the house because I work so fucking much. You didn't get to watch football. It makes me sad. Jesse, if you're watching, do you want to come hang out?
Bank of America.
No, he was stressed. You could tell, like, energetically, he was like, I work.
Well, he's not used to
Like, why
having
didn't you have any
people
fun?
ask him personal questions on his job.
Well, then he certainly wasn't used to me talking about you pulling a string out of the end of your
Oh
dick.
yeah. I had my pajamas. I put my pajamas on after work, and I had this string like in the front of my pajamas, and I was like trying to. I couldn't see it because it was gray, like gray pajamas, and I was like trying to get, and so
Hang
it looked
on.
like I was messing with my nonsense.
It looked like he was just there playing with his dick, and I'm like going. I'm like Jesse's trying to explain
Just
something. He's
laughing.
being so polite, so proper, doing his job so well.
I'm glad I could amuse you guys with my
And
old
he's
ass
over there
pajamas.
playing with his dick, and I'm like, I don't want to tell you what my husband. He's playing. I'm like, finally, I just was like out with it. I was like, he's playing with his parts, Jesse, and he's like, no, I'm pulling a string out. And I'm like, pull your tampon out later, Doug. And that is the introduction that you get to our family if you work at customer service. So shout out to Jesse, you're doing a great job. And if you want to come to Florida, we'll put you up. Fine, come stay in the guest room. What, you don't like Jesse?
I just don't like. I don't know, like people that you meet on the phone. I mean, there's
Some
been
of the
some
people-
doozies.
I met you on the goddamn internet, and look at how that worked
That was
out.
the internet. There was a vetted situation.
Okay. Tracy says, kill them with kindness at first. If I do actually kill them, I will call you and have you help me help them.
Talk a lot about corpses and killing you, Tracy.
And I love these songs. Tracy loves these songs too. That's why we're friends. Tracy says Donna Shea is in the his house. Why do I not see
I
Donna?
don't see Donna. Do you
What's
anybody
up,
see
Donna?
Donna? I don't see any
Did you
Donnas.
not go
I
live
know
on
I
your
did.
page?
I'm all good.
That's
I'm all
interesting.
good.
Heidi Sheldon loved this.
That's Helen Sheldon.
Oh, Helen Sheldon. Sorry, I was very confused for a second there. I have a cousin named Heidi, and that was her last name at one point.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, and she doesn't talk to me. So I was like, oh my God.
Oh
this
my
is weird.
goodness. Oh, well, we had another situation with that.
We were going to talk about that in a
minute.
minute. Tracy says, laughing my ass off. Doug is attached by strings.
It's all right.
Maybe. Trace says, I will always help. Oh, thank you. Maybe you don't want to advertise to the federal government that you always will help people hide a body, though.
Wait a second. So Tracy said it says she's watching on Facebook. Can you see the people that are watching? Because we can't see who's watching. We see numbers who's watching.
Yeah, it's very weird. Well, thank you, Helen Sheldon, for the love. We love you. I don't know how is Helen from. I bet she's a Buffalo Bills fan.
She is not.
Mafia in the house. How do
She
you
is
know?
not.
How is she?
She's a new grandmother.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
we bought something for the grandchild.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We did. I hope they got it. We never heard.
Yeah, I never heard back.
And Tracy says it says she is watching on Facebook. Well, you know stuff we don't know.
It's all good.
So, interestingly, we have some things to talk about this weekend. So, we last week Doug lost his shit. That was not good, and unfortunately, when I'm stressed out, my health is much worse. So last week was like a downward spiral, and not in a good. Is there ever a good downward spiral?
On a water
corkscrew?
slide. A water slide is usually a good downward spiral.
So it wasn't good, but we did. I was thinking about Donna today, by the way. I don't ADD. We should just call this the ADD podcast. So I was thinking about Donna today. I should have called her, but I fell asleep instead.
You
Love
did
you.
fall asleep. I came out to get an apple or something, and
It
you're
started
like,
out as so. I'm going to tell you right now what happened. I was doing my meditation because I didn't meditate this morning because I
Yeah.
was all discombobulated. And they're like, what did they say? It's okay if you fall asleep. And I was like,
yeah.
I got a nice nap, and I had my AirPods, like noise canceling AirPods in, so it was peace and quiet. It was nice.
What if you did a podcast, or not a podcast, a meditation thing for
Mhm.
YouTube? It's like, if you fall asleep, I will blast you with a very loud frequency that will shatter your eardrums.
Well, that could happen. Tracy says maybe on
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
a roller coaster.
Downward spiral on a slide, water slide.
Okay, settle down, Bubba Gump. Can we tell the people? So, and then Friday, I just I wasn't good. So Saturday,
The whole week
it was
bad.
just bad. So I'm sorry that we weren't here for you guys, but we do our best. We bring everything we can do. Tracy says, "Ooh, a downward spiral on a hot day on a hot metal slide. You'll get the part of the slide in the shade.
It's like a hot mess. That's what that is.
We actually we had metal slides down the street from us. There were two. There was the little one, which was like the kiddie slide,
Yeah,
and it had a bar across the front, so you would do
Oh, you could like
flip,
yeah,
and then roll down the slide. And we had a merry-go-round. That shit was the truth. I think it's
Ooh.
probably gone. If anybody lives in Somerset, can you go to Buffington Park? If you go drive up Buffington Street, before you get to Spruce Street on the left, take the right, and there's like a little park down there. And there's there used to be a well where you could get free spring water. And there's all these Indian rocks, and you could find arrowheads there, and or what we thought were arrowheads. And then they were
just pull
the
tabs
merry-go-round
from sodas
and the metal swings. It was old school. And at one point they built a regular swing set, and somebody burnt it.
Oh,
which wasn't good. But that's not the point. The point is then we had the big metal slide, and we would go with wax paper and slide down.
Oh, very nice.
Because we don't fuck around with that kind of shit.
When I was young, when I lived in New York, our campus school had wonderful playground equipment. We had this castle slide, and you could go up either side, but there was a slide down the middle. It was like this cool thing. You had jungle gyms.
Was it one of those cool wooden slides?
No. This was old school. This
because we didn't get the playgrounds, the generation since our generation. They've gotten way better.
They went all wood grain. So this one, all right. So you had the jungle gym, you had the horsey things on the springs, you had all kinds of stuff, and there was this awesome slide. You crawl up the tube in the middle, and then it will go around and round. And I believe that that thing is still standing to this day. Anyway, so I moved to Worcester, and I go to Midland Street School.
And
we didn't have grass; we just had concrete.
Dude, Kennedy Park,
blacktop.
Oh my God, Kennedy Park in Fall River.
Yeah,
we had the monkey bars, but the ones that were that you see on television, they let kids play on these. They were 12 feet off the ground.
Jeez.
And then the rings, I would do them, but nowadays,
no,
they definitely.
And now you have to have 8 inches of rubber pellets to have a.
If you live in Fall River or the Fall River area, and you could tell me what Kennedy Park looks like now, I would love that.
It's a shooting gallery.
Pretty much, yeah. So Saturday we got up and we had a big talk. We had a very long talk, and so that we didn't murder each other. And Tracy says we get screwed up every up the ass by terrible parks growing up, and now it's amazing. I think our parks were awesome. I think these kids are getting screwed. Although
you know what we climbed on? Trees. That's what we climbed on.
You know what they have now is that thing. It's there's a spiral, and you're supposed to hook your leg and spin down, or you can climb up it or whatever.
Oh yeah, the spiral.
I got stuck in that once.
Yeah. So did Danny DeVito on
me and Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
We're just the same. So okay, that was
So we had a little aside there on playground equipment.
So this weekend, we had our chat on Saturday, and then we decided we were going to go to Ding Dartling,
as we like.
Saw our friend Jim.
Yeah.
At the gate, he's very nice.
Yeah.
Saw Blue Heron, and we met some lovely people.
We saw these white pelicans that are about 3.5, 4 feet tall. They're gigantic.
But we actually thought that
we thought they were wood storks.
But then we got
which
chatting,
are also tall.
And I wish I'd gotten the name of the woman who is a local.
She was a local. Her uncle managed Jim Croce, of all people.
Why is that not working? CherylMeadow.com. Well, I was going to pull it up, but her website appears to be down.
Cheryl Meadow.
Nope, I spelled it wrong. CherylMeadow.com. So we got chatting with these people because we thought that the birds
That's
were.
her.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up in a second. We thought that the birds were
wood storks.
wood storks. Come to find out, not so much. So we ended up meeting this woman, Cheryl Meadow, who was there with her friends that we talked to. They were the ones
And her
who talked to
husband.
us. Very, very nice
Very
people.
nice guy.
And she's this phenomenal wildlife photographer, and this is some of her work. So if you're
in the market for wildlife photography,
or you just want to check out some cool ass fucking birds,
that's a road runner.
that's Cheryl. She was really nice. She's going back to California soon, but she was a super nice lady. And
her husband was in the music publishing business, probably from the late 60s onward. He had some good stories, and big fan of Sam Cooke, as am I.
She's also a on the Insta. So if you want to have like some pretty art in your Instagram, there you go. She's your girl. So that was cool to meet them. I got her little card, which it's funny because I was just giving you shit because you have rectangle cards.
Yeah.
And she also has rectangle cards.
It's not a rectangle, it's a square.
Sorry, square. I meant to say
equilateral.
Hard. Words are hard. It's been a hard day. What did you see? Tell them what you saw.
Well, there's you wind through the thing, right? So there's one part where you wind through, and sometimes there's like there's like a culvert under the road.
Which, by the way, they close off, and then you'll see the water in it, like it's rushing. It's crazy.
So we were through the place, and we went by one, and I'm like, "There's a gator." Classic look with the nozzle, the nose, and the eyes, and like just could only see the head. You could sometimes you see the back, but this classic. But it looked big. It looked like you can tell the size of them because of the distance between the nose and the eyes. So I figured out what's actually scarier than seeing a gator in the wild.
What's that?
Seeing a gator and then not knowing where it went.
Well, that's kind of what happened to us, but I don't think it was like leaping out at us.
No. I think we were good, but I think he just like he came up. I saw him and then he just went back down. Didn't see him again.
The thing that's interesting to me is how I drive a Jeep, no doors, and through those shit. Well, they're in the garage, but like we don't use them, and having the Jeep with no doors is means that you're like sometimes freaked out because an animal's going to jump.
Well, we have panthers. We have gators, we have crocodiles, pythons, anacondas, poisonous snakes, like much variety, cottonmouths.
Tracy's fucking with you. She says, no, he went down to prey on you from below.
You don't know. I'm tasty.
Dre, sometimes Doug goes down to prey on me from below. Sometimes he does it from behind, depends on the day. Why are you making that face?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So why do you have to be like that? So we did that, and then we drove around a little bit. You didn't want to get cake. We went to La Casita.
La Casita.
Let me just tell you, La Casita in Fort Myers. It's purple building across from Rondell's where the Bill's Backer bar is.
Purple building, yellow trim, very festive.
If you live in Southwest Florida and you want good food, if you're anywhere and you want cheap food, just fly down. It'll be cheaper to eat there than it is to eat anywhere else. It was $36.98 for dinner.
For our dinners. And we had leftovers that we
two
had
meals
another time.
For two people for $36.98.
And the lady that runs the place, I don't know what her name is, but she's fantastic.
She is, but she isn't.
No, she is, but she isn't because
she is. Hello, how many? Okay, you go right here, and she'll put you in the spot.
Or go outside or whatever. When people come in, they don't know how to deal with that because they're waiting for somebody to come up to them, escort them to the table. She's like, you over there, you whatever. And she is your waitress. And then a guy brings you the food, but
sometimes the guy brings you the food. Sometimes
there were people like flocking into this place.
This place is fucking packed because it's cheap.
And it's fantastic. And the food is so good.
The Polo Loco.
Or the enchiladas. The enchilada trio.
The salsa is fantastic.
You can't stop eating it.
The food is good. The iced tea is good. For me, iced tea is a big thing. It was so good, but she comes up like she's so friendly and so nice, but she doesn't have time to talk to you. She's very busy. So it's kind of like those. Remember
it's kind of like Soup Nazi kind of.
No, she's not like the Soup Nazi. The Soup Nazi there would be a line at the door, and he would say, "No soup for you." She's so.
Oh,
friendly.
I could see her telling Doug, "No polo for you."
But she's so friendly. But she's very busy.
She got no time. Yeah.
It makes me think of that video game. What was it? Diner Dash, where you would have to
go
right to the table and to the table and to the chair and bring the food and all that stuff. She's playing Diner Dash, but she's also being the hostess. So she's like, "Hello, have a seat." Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, it's so good. Okay, you want beans?" She just goes through it really fast. She has no time. I think she might be on cocaine.
ground beef. No,
I really think she's on cocaine, but like she has to have all the energy in the world, and she's fantastic. I do like a little bit. Like I like to hang
you want
out
to be
with us.
wooed a little bit.
Well, it's not. I mean, I like a little foreplay, yeah, but I like to be friendly with our servers, and it's actually funny because we're friendly.
But we love that lady though. Like
We love
she's
her.
fantastic.
But we are friendly everywhere we go, and that's how we make friends. So we're friends with Jim at the at Ding
At
Darling.
Ding Darling, yeah.
Of course, also all the other volunteers at Ding Darling, and then we went to Costco on Sunday, and like literally this one woman,
Employees are coming by.
they're like, "Hey, I just want." They stop us. They're like, "Hey, I just wanted to tell you I saw you. How are you?" I'm like, "Oh my god, how are you?" That's how we roll. We just want to spread joy and laugh and be friends everywhere.
Oh, and
we go.
we met. We sat down and talked with a couple from Boca.
Oh my god!
By way of
we have to talk about that.
New
Like, let's
Jersey.
get
But
there.
yeah,
in a
that was
second.
fun.
Anne says hello all. Shout out to Anne. What's
Anne
up,
is here.
girl? We love you. Yeah, so it was it Neil and Cheryl?
And Cheryl. Yeah.
Super nice people from Boca.
Fantastic guys.
And so they may not agree with my husband on politics.
They did not agree with the liberal.
And I'm like, dude, I'm like, guys, dog.
And he was a
don't.
former
And I'm
federal
just
prosecutor.
And I'm just sitting
prosecutor.
there. I'm just sitting there like, you guys, you don't want to have this conversation with him. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm not getting into politics with Doug. But if you guys want to,
But here's the
it's
thing:
fine.
former Democrat Neil was until kind of after the Clinton era.
Neil is a wise man. You can learn so much from him. And by the way, I'm not like a fan of either party. I want the government to be as small as possible. And so does that owl. That borrowing owl
Owl's
right
mad
there
at you.
making a racket. Right there.
I was mad at you.
He's like, fuck the government. That's what he's saying.
Wow.
Although they get some pretty nice protections by FWC.
Yeah. Well, see,
But
no,
it's so
you can't even
weird,
go near that
because
owl.
FWC
The alarm goes off.
FWC, which is for Florida Wildlife Commission or whatever the hell it's called,
Mm.
they are no joke. Like they don't fuck around. Like you
Mm.
touch a turtle, you're going to jail for life.
Or
touch an owl,
if you
jail
take
for
an
life.
alligator into a convenience store to buy beer with you,
Jail.
they'll put you in jail.
But
We have video of it.
you can't even look askance at a goddamn protected species or animal or whatever. But we're gonna put genetically modified mosquitoes out there and spray twice a week for like various things.
Mm.
It's bonkers. Although it's weird. It's been really hard for me because like I realize we live in a city now, right? So like for me, like Situate and Marshfield were like too big.
Yeah.
And
They were
part
too
of the
big.
problem-
There was
you know,
80 people there.
part
And they all had brown water.
of the problem in Situate and Marshfield is we have a lot of like fucking overeducated, too much money, too much time on their hands, people that are not getting laid.
You wouldn't want to have educated people around. that's for
Making
sure.
it's. Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
What? Why are you saying
You
they're
wanna
overeducated?
hear-
Is there such a
because you're-
thing called overeducated?
can I finish my sentence
Okay,
before
go
you
ahead.
argue
No,
with
go ahead.
me?
Go ahead.
So there are a lot of undersexed,
Oh.
overeducated, don't go outside, need to get laid, miserable people
Mm.
who like to take on the moral high ground. And I think that the overeducated,
Alleged moral high ground.
unfortunately, in New England,
Yeah.
there seems to be a correlation between people thinking they're better than people and looking askance at people, the more education they have. I'm not saying that's true as a rule, but I'm saying that there's like a portion of that in that community, there's a portion of people that like to think that they're fucking better than themselves. And is there a correlation between their education? I don't know. But they will tell you exactly what their education and training is whenever they make a point.
Well,
I went to school with Ben Franklin, so I know that the electricity isn't going to come on for 2 weeks. Like,
Well,
okay, that's
I watch a
irrelevant.
TikTok. So I know.
There's people are fucking listen. I find TikTok to
No,
be
I
probably a
assume
lot
that-
more informative than a lot of other. What are you doing?
I thought I saw something moving over there.
A lot of-
our little lizard friend.
A lot of other paths at this point, but
I think you probably get that anywhere, but I do agree that Massachusetts is
not
kind of
like no
is kind of the heartland of that.
So let me finish my point,
Go
which
ahead.
was that in Massachusetts and Situate and Marshfield, because they're big towns, like it would annoy me because there would be so much negativity. When you come to a place like Cape Coral, and I don't know what our current population is, I think it's like 180,000. There's so much negativity. There's so many Karens. There's so many people that are just like looking for something to bitch about. And it's like,
I think you get that everywhere.
no,
honestly
it's
do.
worse here because there's more of them.
Yeah, no, it's magnified. But
So,
remember when we went on the Bridgeton, Maine, and everyone was actually
That's
helpful?
what I was about to say.
Yeah.
And Bridgeton, small town, People are very nice. People are very kind. So I think that I don't like being in a place like Cape Crowded where it's super crowded and everybody is mean to each other. We're trying to figure out where we want to live. We don't know. Let us know. Oh, speaking of Situate, the town of closed-minded idiots who can't think for themselves. Situate is snobs. There are some that are lovely, but a good majority suck. I agree with you.
Well, Anne, don't hold back. Tell us how you
No,
really feel.
she's right though. Like I just she's right. I mean, how many people do we know in Situate? I mean, our friend Zach works with the public, and especially because he works HVAC, it's a blue collar job, people will condescend to him on a way that is not even fucking funny. And then some people are so nice. And it's funny because like he always tells me stories about his customers, and some of them are really awesome and some of them are crazy. But like there are the ones that are like, you're in the trades, I look down on you.
Yeah.
There's the ones that are like, you're in the trades, I don't know how to do this. And I'm smart enough to know that there's not that many tradesmen that are going to actually come out and do the job at a price that I can afford because they got us over a barrel. That's right. The blue collar folks, they're primed to fuck us all in the ass. So be nice to them. Unless you want that, then be extra nice to them.
I'm going to watch a TikTok and fix my own shit.
Good luck with that. So my point is that, and then he occasionally has people that are just like normal and nice, and that's great. And some people tip, and or give him baked goods, or one guy one guy had a Dunkin' Donuts styrofoam cup in his sink, rinsed it out, and gave him some soup in the Dunkin' Donuts.
That's very nice.
Like,
very nice.
Thank you for the soup, sir.
Well, what I will say, any blanket like Situate is a town of idiots or whatever, I want to back that up and say, look, you can't just say it's a town full of them, because
I can.
You look hard and far enough, and you've got good people everywhere.
I'm saying that there's good people everywhere, absolutely, but I'm saying that if you have the more people you have, people feel like they want attention, they have to be loud or whatever, and they're going to be bitchy little shits about it.
Well, and then you throw in the whole social media of it, and then people can kind of not be held accountable for their actions. They can say whatever the hell they want and run away.
Maybe. Anne says, I got thrown off Situate Monthly because because someone disagrees with something I was directly involved in. It got nasty. I got to tell you something. That group I tried to help the guy that runs it. His name is Bill Blake. I tried to help him a bajillion times, just to keep people positive and friendly and whatever. And it doesn't really seem like he wants that. I think, and people, of course, if there's conflict on the internet, ratings. It brings conflict to your page. It brings more ratings or whatever. So maybe that's why he does that. But it's a toxic group. Somebody needs to start a positive group in Situate and like maintain it. There's not a member of Situate Monthly, which is a decent group. But it's, it's also very political. And I think most people, like, on their town page, of course, they're interested in town politics. And on their town page, they're interested in local events and, referrals and that kind of thing. But some of these groups, they just get out of hand and become very ugly. And I got to tell you, the Cape Coral Residents group, whew, wow.
It's pretty rough.
Y'all need hugs. But I think it's less bad per capita than Situate. Well,
there's fewer people in Situate, so a few bad apples will spoil the whole bunch.
Yeah, but I think
more
it's
easily.
Because there's 180,000 people. They're all posting, and whereas in Situate Monthly, there's way less people, and it's still as much fucking negativity. So I think it's bullshit. Trace says YouTube is helping me fix my house a little at a time. Yeah, I don't know why Doug's going on these little tirades about TikTok, especially since he's never used TikTok. But I have sent him a lot of useful TikTok videos. And like, I think you're just talking shit about TikTok just to be like jumping on the bandwagon.
I'm just talking shit, basically. I'm just trying to make comedy.
It's not funny though.
What? Saying I watched a TikTok?
But that's the point Tracy's making, is YouTube is helping me fix my house.
Yeah, YouTube is fantastic for that.
So is TikTok.
Hmm?
So is TikTok. You've gotten.
How do you search something in TikTok? You just search like fix a sink?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. pretty much anything
See,
you
that's
want.
what I'm afraid of. This
Well, you see,
newfangled technology.
you don't know anything
I'm-
about
no,
it.
no,
You're
no, no,
talking
no.
about it.
When I was bagging on TikTok, I was talking about people that are like, I'm educated. I went to Harvard, and I'm like, well, I watched a TikTok video, and like, because some people actually will say that.
Well, I think that given what's happening in education in this country, a TikTok video just as valid as a university degree. But what do I know?
Well, it depends if I don't know.
Well,
Nobody believes in science anymore. Nobody believes history happened the way
it's
it
not
was.
that, but it's
Um,
but here's the point. We now know
Mm.
for a fact
that
for a
Columbus
fact
didn't
that
discover
a lot
America.
of the things that we were taught in school
Yeah.
were inaccurate.
Um,
History,
yeah, no, there's stuff that we know now that we didn't know then too,
but there's things that we were deliberately
such as
told. Well, we are told like other countries are terrible and we're amazing. We don't really talk about the terrible things our government has historically done. Like, did you learn
Yeah, yeah.
about like the Tuskegee Airmen in school? No, because we're not going to talk about that.
I didn't even learn about the Holocaust in school until
Neither.
junior high, like junior and high school.
Never.
And it was only because
Never.
Yeah, never mind.
So, and I want to get back to the comments, but I want to say this, that, actually, I'm going to read the comments because I totally lost my train of thought. Tracy said, with that being said, I cannot figure out what the name of a certain bracket is called, so I can't fix something if I don't know what it's called. So I need a carpenter. Let's figure it out together.
It's an L-shaped bracket.
I'll help you.
It's a Newman bracket. It's a
there's no such thing as a Newman bracket.
What? You don't know carpentry?
I do. I fixed a fence.
She did fix a fence.
I use my bra as a tool belt. Tracy says, yeah, TikTok is similar to YouTube, just shorter for
Okay.
people with ADD like me. Tracy says, I have a university degree and would go to YouTube and TikTok over an overly expensive university degree. I'm not saying there isn't a value.
And there she is saying, I have this university degree.
Well, the thing that's ironic about all of this,
My
you're a big
point-
defense of
I'm just kidding.
education.
No, I'm kidding.
Your big defense of education is you dropped out of art school. Like, who can't finish coloring school?
You couldn't even have gone into that school.
No, I couldn't.
Yeah, so
But I did graduate from college in 3 years with honors. So there's that.
state school. Just saying. State school in Connecticut. How good can it be?
Smart enough.
Even Jim said it was no good.
Yeah, okay. Jim's an asshole. He's my friend, but he's an asshole.
I'm putting on this blanket because it's nearing 49 degrees right now.
Okay.
It's nearing it.
It's very cold. We're not digging that.
I look like Bernie Sanders at the inauguration.
Tracy says, I was trying to prove your point, Doug. Well, his
Name dropping.
no, his
Name
point,
dropper.
his point is everything I say is wrong.
No, stay in school, people. That's my point.
No, that's not. So, did you realize why education was created in the first place?
Because it was there was Indians running around trying to massacre us.
The Rockefellers created education so that they could.
Wait, there were no schools before the Rockefellers. I thought Farmer was the Rockefellers. Now it's schools and Farmer are the Rockefellers. Abe Lincoln went to a brick schoolhouse. I don't think there was
Hang
any
on a second.
Rockefellers back then.
John D. Rockefeller's massive investment in education reform helped shape the modern American school system we know today by funding research and promoting policy changes. Ding, ding, ding.
Keep reading.
Rockefeller ensured that schools would train students in the skills and disciplines needed by corporations in an emerging industrial economy.
Yeah.
So he wasn't
And
teaching.
who won World War II,
Can you let me
motherfuckers?
finish what I have to say, please?
Go ahead.
Because you cut me off a bunch today. I just want to finish my thought.
Go ahead.
So he, it's so that they could go to factories and work in the factories and be obedient employees.
Well,
He was not a good man.
no, I'm not saying he was.
He was not a good man. It was, and years ago, it was so that kids would grow up to work in the factory, work for someone else, as opposed to on the family farm, as opposed to in the family business, opposed to, learning their family's values, opposed to being, part of their community. It was go to school, learn what we want you to learn. And that has continued to this day. We're teaching children to work for corporate America, to ask no questions, to fill out a scantron, to conform. We don't want children thinking for themselves. We certainly don't want adults thinking for themselves, but it starts in childhood. And then they go on and they expect you on top of it to take work home from school. So you've been there for what, 7 to 3? Is that what 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. 8 hours, and they want you to bring homework home. They're trying to fucking groom you for a corporate job where you're working more than 40 hours a week and you're barely scraping by. And it's worked, and people fall for it. And then kids don't even know how to fucking balance their checkbook. They don't know anything about taxes. They're not learning the skills that they need in life in school, but they're 8 hours a day, and then they take home homework, and you got to get them into activities so they can go to college and be part of the problem some more. And when do you have time as a parent to teach them about the things that they really need to know in life? Or God forbid, things like survival skills, like how to raise your own food. These kids don't even know. They go to college, they get this education, but they don't know how to do their laundry. Why are you just standing there completely blank and not even reacting?
I'm listening to you.
Okay.
I wasn't going to cut you off. I was going to make a few points about some stuff, but
okay. And then
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I'm not done.
Wholly disagreeing with you.
And then let's do a side by side comparison to what the school system is like versus the prison system. The halls, long hallways with cells that you go into, aka classrooms. The food is effectively inedible, sits on a plastic tray. You go where you're told when you're told to go there. It's all about conformity. Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead.
Well, dating back to the Rockefellers, we were becoming an industrialized revolution. They needed people to fill those jobs and raise their families and earn a good wage for that. So that's probably where that came from.
You think Rockefeller did that so people could get good jobs?
I think Rockefeller did everything he did to make more money so he could Scrooge McDuck himself in a room of cash.
It has nothing to do with the factories. If people want to get a job, like they don't have to train our children to be able to work in a factory in school. That's not why they did that. That's not why they did that. If the kids are in school,
you can't complain that.
Hear me out. If the kids are in school, it means the parents can work in the factories, and the kids are brought up to then work in the factories. Okay. It's about what's best. We always give. When you look at people in power and people with wealth, what they do is they look down on the little people like you and I, and they say, "Well, what can I do to get this idiot to fall in line with what I want and make me money?" And that's how it starts. Go ahead. But there's a comment or two.
Yeah, go read some comments.
Oh, wow, there is. Tracy says, you do look like Bernie Sanders at the inauguration. Tracy says, to create masses of blue-collar workers. I don't, I mean, they want just people that are going to do whatever they're told, I think. Tracy says, so far they have won. I agree. Anne says, Stacey, you're correct, Doug. There's a channel you can watch about just about everything and came up with your own decisions. It's getting worse. I agree. Especially, but the AI is going to be a double-edged sword in this because people can do deep fakes on everything. And I think because of the AI things, maybe people are going to start to ask questions. Maybe they're going to think, oh, well, that could be AI. I'm going to ask questions.
Yeah. Oh, they should. Yeah.
Tracy says they are not even wanting kids to learn cursive, so they can't read their rights. I tend to agree with you. Steven said, if you could only live on one brand of water, what type of bread would you choose? Sorry, if you could only live on bread and water, what kind of bread would you choose? So Steven is a guy from Cape Coral that that was chatting with me this week about my I have a whole story about that.
I think you showed me some of that. That was funny.
We'll get to that.
I gotta go salt rising bread.
I wouldn't choose to buy a brand of bread, and we don't eat bread for the most part in this house, but I would choose to make my own. That's the life I want. I want to live on a hippie commune / cult. I keep saying it doesn't need to be called, and I don't need to be in charge, but people keep telling me.
Is Melba toast a bread? I'm just.
Anne says, I saw that first AI commercial today and the hands gave it up. It was so bizarre. I didn't see that.
Somebody I work with has been messing around with AI, and they described their house and their snowblower, and it rendered a picture of the house and the snowblower. There were so many things wrong with it that it was absolutely hysterical. Well, first of all, you know what a snowblower looks like. You have the auger in the front, the engine, and then the handlebars, and then you walk behind it. Well, this one had the guy sitting kind of almost on the engine, driving it like a tractor with these giant handlebars behind him. There was a 1.5 car garage, which was supposed to be a 2 car garage. There were stairs going up the middle, but the door wasn't in the middle, it was over here. It spelled the word of the street wrong, which defies logic.
So, but herein lies the thing. Have you used AI at all?
Yeah.
So you know that it gets smarter with time. So like when I use ChatGPT, I have multiple threads going. So I'll say, like, I give it all this information, and as time goes on, you continue to give it information, you correct it. It's learning. So it's learned all the things that it can learn from school already. And now as its parents, we have to teach it things and correct its behavior and steer it on the right path. But it's going to work for corporations, and it's going to make them billions of dollars. And we're going to have to change what we're doing in society. Before you know it, we will all be making our own bread. So if I was going to have any bread, I don't know. I like me some Portuguese sweetbread.
I just
but
thought
I'd make it myself.
Banana bread. I also thought of the bubble room bread from the bubble room down in Captiva.
Bubble room bread. Stephen may be familiar with that.
Yeah,
he says he chooses Italian.
There's no shame in that, Stephen. That's
So
delightful.
can we talk about how I met Stephen? Because this is actually really funny.
Okay, you talk about that. I just wanted to mention that whole conversation about education went from we need more blue collar workers. They're going to hold us to the fire because nobody's going to know how to do anything. To oh no, the Rockefellers created a bunch of blue collar workers.
And so I'm not saying that the Rockefeller. So I think that I don't know where the blue collar worker, like what she really meant by the blue collar workers, but I think what she meant is that they wanted to build laborers back then.
There's a difference. Yeah, laborers.
No, a laborer is what they would be
back then.
Now, a laborer is what's considered a blue collar worker. Anyone who works with their hands is considered a blue collar worker. But I think
except if they're like a sculptor, then they're just
a sculptor is a sculptor,
and then they're just
artist. But to say that, so it's evolved, as I had stated in the conversation, that it's evolved. Before it was they wanted people to work in the factories, and now it's they want people to go to college, and it's more making the rich richer. They don't care about us.
What's really cool about like the sort of side
small.
hustle community, this whole side hustle thing, and all you can make your way doing your own thing. And a lot of people are more striving for that, especially since COVID. Like more people are RVing now. They're trying to find a different path. They want to work remote. They don't want to do the whole 9 to 5 thing. They don't want to be in an office.
And I think it's great that people are starting their
own business. People do, because people like to be in that box.
I think it's great that people are starting their own businesses, and I fully support that. Obviously, that's what we did. But I think a lot of what's also happening is people have side hustles because they can't afford to live on their main hustle.
Very
true. There you go is the problem. And since COVID,
like
it's gotten worse because we've had rampant inflation. Now, I think most people who are working multiple jobs and there's definitely people starting businesses, and I think it's great. But I think that there's a lot of people out there that are really struggling because the cost of things are so expensive. I mean, we're barely scraping by.
Yeah, no, it's cost of living is, or at least housing, anyways, is has gone a little crazy.
So I do want to share this, and I'll share the chat that we had. I think you guys will
hold on
find
your
it
ad,
funny. So some well-meaning person on the Situate Monthly page, where the hell is it? Shared this. As church attendance numbers fade across the nation, online services become very convenient. It's important to remember why church attendance for you and your family matters so much. You can't serve from your sofa. You can't have community of faith on your sofa. You can't experience the power of a room full of believers worshiping together on your sofa. By the way, this is all true. Christians aren't consumers. We are contributors. We don't watch, we engage. We give, we sacrifice, we encourage. We pray by laying hands on the hurting. We do life together. The church needs you, and you need the church. I don't disagree with this. I don't disagree with it. Energetic, not only from the sense of community, and I'm always talking about how we need more of a sense of community, but also from the perspective of energetically. So when you bring people together in prayer, it's, it works better energetically, I believe. Is it hippy dippy woo woo shit? Maybe. Most things I say are. You guys are used to it by now. So I may have replied in my normal fashion, whereas I said,
you're not showing that.
No, I'm not trying to show it. I said, if you can point to me in the direction of a church that wouldn't frown upon me being braless,
That would be great. Because the reality is,
right. Yeah.
they want you to go, they want you to go to church. And I've even thought about
get some dress up church clothes too.
It would be nice
Looking
to go
good,
to church, but like
strolling in there like you're.
I can't like shower and like get dressed and leave the house most days. Like I can't.
Not most days.
Like I have a lot of days where I can't shower. I have a lot of days where I don't get dressed, and like doing both and then go, like it's a lot for me. And I don't wear bras anymore. I just can't. They hurt too much, and so the struggle is real. And like, don't get me wrong, I would love to go to church and be like a person, but I can't. So here we are. And so Kitty Nicolai, she enjoyed my excuse. She said, new excuse for me. And then Tom, our new friend Tom, welcome to the podcast. Tom, right now you're just a little baby hater, but maybe one day you can be a master hater. He says
that's not Tom. That was Steven.
What are you trying? I
didn't see Tom.
Oh, Stephen Garber is not Tom.
It was not Tom. Yeah.
That's hilarious. I don't know who Stephen Garber is. Stephen, I'm sorry. I forgot who you are. I don't even know.
He's the bread guy.
I don't know who I am. I'm sorry. I'm having a day. How do we know Stephen?
I don't know. I think he's just joined our cast of Merriman.
Stephen, I'm sorry. I'm losing my goddamn mind. I was thinking you were Tom. Tell me about yourself, Stephen. We want to know more about you.
I don't know.
Have you been here before? Are we
he has.
Crazy?
He's definitely been here.
I'm having a day. The drugs haven't kicked in. Anyway, so he said, Tom Lovett said, if churches had a no bra policy, I may think about joining. I said, I'm working on starting a cult. I'm a triple D. Want to join?
So
what? I'm not done.
Wait a second. If churches had a no bra policy, he would join. Does that mean he's a cross-dressing individual that is
it means
wearing a bra and doesn't want to wear it when he goes?
It means that everybody loves titties.
Oh, okay.
Everybody loves.
Well,
titties.
It's very true.
I mean, not everybody. So in any case,
pretty sure everybody does.
So in any case, now you know.
Okay.
Now you know. Excellent. And then I had this other. God, I've had so much stuff. Well, did you have something you wanted to share?
I had a few minor things to share. I found a web page that I really like. It's called Things with Faces, and this came up. This chicken nugget, my son threw it out because it creeped him out. That was a little funny. We went to a Goodwill this past weekend and found this shirt. Kiss me, I'm Czech. And then
neither of us are Czech.
Yeah.
And neither of us could fit into that shirt, so we didn't get it.
I get proof of our Fort Myers has a couple of 2-story McDonald's. I don't think that those exist a lot of places in the country. I don't know what you have to do to sit up top. Maybe you're just better than the rest of the people or something like that. And then this was interesting. Taylor Swift has generated an equivalent brand value of $331.5 million for the Chiefs and the NFL. The amount includes TV highlights, social media, print, and digital, going back to Swift's first game in September. I thought that was fascinating that somebody was able to kind of even put a number on that, because I don't know how you put values on some of that, social media stuff and things like that. But I trust them.
Spike in jersey sales.
I trust them.
I mean,
that was
they
pretty
have
interesting.
a reason. I don't think that they would have a reason to lie about the data, but I will say that a lot of people are not happy about the Taylor Swift of it all. And it's really interesting. Like, people just want it to be, and I think that this goes back to the whole Kaepernick thing. People just want to be able to go to watch football and just watch football. They just want it to be about watching football.
When I want to watch a football game, I don't need to. Well, I mean, I'm trying to think. Has this same sort of thing ever happened before? Like, was Larry Bird's mom ever showed every game, or something to that effect? And I can't really think of anything. But yeah, if I'm watching a game, I want to see the game. I don't want to see her jumping around, because let her just jump around. Who gives them rat's ass?
I do want to circle back to that.
I do want to see people.
There's a lot to circle about, but we've missed a whole bunch of comments.
Right, read the comments.
Tracy says the pumpernickel bread from Outback Steakhouse. Oh, I didn't know that was pumpernickel.
I don't know if it's pumpernickel. It's brown of some sort. Yeah, I think they sell it at Publix. I'll have to look and see what it's actually called.
Tracy says, yeah, that's what I meant. I don't know what she meant, but there you go.
She meant something good.
Anne says more and more pieces are falling together. It's been planned. I agree. Doug, do you not agree?
I don't know. I think you guys read way more into stuff than
I don't think
you give people a lot of credit.
I think
people are generally stupid, and I think that to plan things on a large scale
actually
would take a lot of coordination. And if you look at our government lately, they ain't no cooperation, no collaboration, and
Okay, hang on a second.
hardly any nation.
I just thought of something that is just really baffling to me.
What's baffling?
So one of the things that's been kind of a bone of contention is that when I say something to Doug, he questions it like a fucking 12-year-old. Like everything's yeah. I don't check myself because he doesn't believe the fucking word I said. Anybody else says something to him, anybody else, he takes it as gospel. But if it comes from me, it must be questioned. Like what time a business closes or where something is, or he just has to question all the time. And it makes me feel like shit because it's like, you don't respect what I have to say. You don't believe me. And it's also like having a toddler. Like it makes me fucking mad. I'm not going to lie. I went on a tirade this week and said that if I wanted to be married to a woman or a child, I'd be a lesbian or a pedophile. And so I am neither, just so you know, but the lesbian thing could happen. Could happen. Maybe bestiality.
With a baby dolphin.
I just like, could you just listen to what I fucking have to say and like maybe treat me with a little respect?
Sure.
Because the thing is, but here's the thing that's crazy. I don't think you question things enough. But the one thing you will always question is me.
It's because I love you.
I would rather you didn't. Please stop. Please stop loving me. Please.
I've been loving you.
Y'all, are any of you out there married?
Too long.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm singing.
I'm so mad. It just like I seriously want to cry. It just like the fact that you question me constantly, and there's a million things I don't think you question enough. That's infuriating. Anyway, Mark Davis says Christ on a pogo stick. I would like to see Christ on a pogo stick. I don't think we see enough of Christ on a pogo stick.
The baby Christ on a pogo stick would not end well, but like Crown of Thorns Christ.
Like I feel like
he would probably
But I feel like
if you handed Christ a pogo stick, it's kind of cross shaped. He might have a little PTSD from that.
Like an upside down cross. That's even worse.
Yeah,
here's the thing about it though. Like I feel like if somebody can walk on water, like handing them a pogo stick's like you can walk on water, but can you hop on a pogo stick? Probably.
I wonder if you could juggle.
I don't know. I want to see if
that might be my best question yet.
Anne says energetically, but philosophically following a ritual isn't freedom. Actually, if you choose to follow the ritual of your own free will, it is. It is.
So there.
I mean, like, here's the thing. We do the podcast every night. We're free to not do it. We choose to. Trace says she loves titties.
Yeah.
Everybody loves titties.
Right on. Power to the people.
For those of you who do not know, Tracy is the OG lesbian. She and her wife have been together since the dawn of time. And says, I saw that, Doug. I would have thrown out that McNugget
Yeah,
too.
that thing was creepy.
I'll eat it. But I would like eat a person.
Would you eat it face down?
Maybe.
Like
no, I would like take it and I would be like,
hello, Jan Jansen, the chicken McNugget.
I would look him right in the face. Anne says they planned it so know about what money it's bringing in. Are we talking about Taylor Swift? Because that's where I'm going.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
she may be talking about education. She may be talking. about
we don't
Swift.
know. It applies everywhere.
To football. We haven't even touched football. We got to get there because the Bills Mafia is in his house. Doug, you hit the nail on the head. People are stupid. Those were your words.
Yeah, they are dumb.
And they're not smart enough to realize that they're getting screwed by their government. They're not smart enough to realize that they're being brainwashed. They're not smart enough to know that they're being manipulated.
They're smart enough not to fret over it every goddamn day.
Dude, I don't fret over it every day, but I do know things, and I'm not willing to I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna pretend that they're not okay. Do I wish sometimes that I was completely ignorant? Yes, because it's hard. I want the fucking red pill or the blue pill, whichever one it is that makes you stupid, and you can have a steak dinner. I like that one. But here we are. I know the truth, and I have to speak out. Tracy, Ann says it's worth it to look at both sides. Look one thing up for yourself and don't tell anyone. Dude, I look up. That's the problem with me is when I read something, I have to look up like a shitload of
it's rabbit hole kind of thing, right? It's like
you go down a rabbit and you can take your entire life. So sometimes I have to decide whether I care or not. So the guy that is not I'm so sorry. Can I just tell you I feel like an asshole? I'm so sorry. Can I cook you dinner? No.
I'm sorry. Should I have pointed that out?
But no, I'm glad you did because I feel like I don't remember a Tom. I feel like a jerk. Anyway, what was I saying? Sorry, marijuana.
I know you were doing the looking things up.
So you look things up and you go down this rabbit hole.
Mm.
And so so he like wanted to debate with me about the Biden administration, and I'm like, I was talking about how the government wastes our money and they're irresponsible with our money, and he's like, give me 10 examples, and I'm like, 10 examples, like I'm doing homework for you. Look it up yourself. I don't care if what you think. Like, I'm not here to change your mind. If you don't want to change, I'm here to share an idea, and if you think my idea has validity, look it up. Ask questions. Like, we're here, like, with our very different views of the world, like in every way, trying to bring people together. Because if we can come together,
Can I jump in with a quick comment? One thing I've noticed a lot is, and it happens on both sides. Like, all right, so what is your favorite Biden policy? Like, they try to catch you on something, right? They try to catch,
it's like gotcha journalism,
right?
Almost.
And so, but here's the thing: even if I rattle off 8 things that I think Biden did a good job on, you're not going to think those things are good. So you're asking me it's an impossible situation.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to challenge you on naming 8 things that Biden did good, but I digress. But to your point, most people are just looking for confirmation bias. They're not looking to have a conversation. They're trying to make their point. And that's not what we're here for. We want to come together and stuff. And sometimes we realize we're not going to get along. We're not going to agree on this. So we're going to agree to disagree. That's what people do. So we want people to come together from a place of love and mutual respect, and have an intelligent conversation. If we can't do it, if y'all can't do it, how the hell do we expect the idiots in Washington to do it? But I would argue that the idiots in Washington are out in public. Oh, you're a Republican. Oh, you're a Democrat. I hate you. Behind closed doors, they're all best friends, and they're all pulling the little fucking puppet strings, and we're all getting fucked. So let's come together. And Anne says it's worth it to look at both sides. Look one thing up for yourself and don't tell anyone. Yeah. You should read all the information you can and deduce your own opinion, because in this world of biased media, lies, AI, and just overall insanity, y'all got to learn to use your brains. The smartest thing you can do is to teach your kids to think, question everything yourselves. I made many, many mistakes as a parent. Clearly, my children don't talk to me, but I always push my children to question everything, which of course results in them questioning you. But we would sit there even at I remember they came home with the middle school handbook that we had to sign. And it was like all these ways that their constitutional rights were completely ignored. And I was like, no, we're crossing that out. You don't have to follow that rule. 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 Because that's how I wanted them to be. Mark Davis says to get to the second floor, you sit McDonald's on the hamburger's face and you're magically rocketed up a fire pole to the second floor. Is that really true?
Hamburger's got that big old nose. The ladies might enjoy that.
That doesn't sound like it's true, but it does sound like it would be fun.
You sit there and boop. I don't think hamburger restaurant would want you to sit on one of their characters' faces.
I think that they definitely would. That's how Epstein got started, I think.
Speaking of hamburglers,
so I will say this, not that I want to tie Epstein to Mark in any way, shape, or form.
I was tying him to the hamburglar.
But I want to say, in his house, they always post. They live
they have a
beautiful view, and they post these gorgeous pictures.
Hydroponic,
and so they have so they have a set of stairs that comes up, and they have their hydroponic lettuce grow there, which they love, by the way. So highly recommended. But I was thinking that where those stairs are, maybe they have one of those hamburglers, or maybe you sit on Mark's face and he's like, "Whoa!" Hey, listen, Mark.
Good work if you can get it, Mark.
He's a handsome man. I bet he could send you through the roof with his skills, and he could inspect your roof too if you're interested, and recommend some nice rocks because he knows geology. Our man, he's like a Renaissance man. He's awesome. And Anne says there are a lot of things Elias and I argue about. I had to learn for myself, and that's the truth. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Yeah. Anne says, laughing my ass off. Go easy on Doug because AI was him. Oh, okay. Elias can be a nag. I have to learn my time. I speak from experience. And she says, Doug, I know how you feel because sometimes it's easier, but the more I truly learn, I understand much of what I have been taught is wrong. Education and religion and traditions blunted my growth. And I'm certainly not afraid to throw some stones at particularly the Catholic Church, but I think that there are also good things about it. So it's not all bad, but there are definitely like the intentions are a lot of controlling, manipulating, and yeah, not good. And Tracy says, I don't believe any politician or political party to be good. I think that there may be some that go into good intentions, but invariably, in order to survive in DC, you have to stay corrupt. And she says, I think they all lie to get in and do what they want. I don't believe that Democrats and Republicans exist anymore. I also believe that the Electoral College should be disbanded and one vote is just one vote, not the state versus state and population versus population. Well, I disagree with that issue with eliminating the Electoral College, because then the interests of rural America are not met, and they could just go and because the population is so concentrated in certain areas, they would just go and campaign to those people and their needs, and they have very different needs. So I disagree with that, but a lot of people believe that, and
there's a race situation there as well.
Yeah, and Anne says, "Amen, Tracy." So Anne agrees with Tracy. I do not. I believe that we have to.
In theory, yes. In theory, that would be amazing.
But that's not really.
But why they put it in is for those very reasons.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
it's actually brilliant. I think. I don't know.
I think it should be looked at. But I definitely think that it was. Yeah, it's like a lot of this stuff. It started out as something very, very good and to make it to be equitable. Now here's the thing: is like, can we be equitable? Can we be charitable? Can we be like all these? And that's what I think everybody needs to get back to, rather than just winning or putting down people. Because
and I think that's why we need small government. This is why I want to start a fucking hippie commune. Tracy says, but they have voted several times against what the popular vote was. Yeah. So if you understand how the Electoral College works, popular vote is how many votes does someone get? Like number of voters, how many they get. But the problem is that the voters are concentrated in major cities, Los Angeles, New York, Boston, etc. But there's millions of Americans in rural America that keep this country going by providing the food supply, who have very different needs than those people. And they're different racial makeup, to Doug's point. They may be different age groups, like they're different, but their needs are important too, because they're also part of this country. So do you want, would you want to be, of course you live in, I don't know where you live now. I don't know that it would affect you, but like, yeah, versus other places where, okay, we're just going to meet the needs of the people that live in the city, who are more inclined to want, social programs, free things from the government, and social programs like assistance from the government because of the nature of city living. Whereas people, many people living in particularly rural America are more interested in their freedoms. So, and of course, if you look at your map, your red and blue map, I think you're going to notice that there's a lot more blue in your major cities and a lot more red in rural America. But you could argue that point with me. I would love for you to answer.
No, it's very true. I mean, the blue areas are, yeah.
And Anne says, think about this. Bill Gates is actually brilliant. He's fulfilling the dreams of the elite, as he is one. Well, yeah, we've said that. I think that the man is as evil as they come, but Doug may feel differently. You have an opinion about Bill Gates?
No, I don't. I don't really have an opinion on him. I know that he's tried to help people. I don't know. I hope that is. Here's my thing about all this.
You know that he has tried to help people, or you think he's tried to help people? Because I think he's tried to harm people.
Okay. Well, can I just make a blanket statement about all this stuff, right? I think we've got a lot of negative feelings towards politicians, towards the government, towards Bill Gates, towards Situate, towards all this stuff. There's a lot of negativity here that I would like us as a group or as a podcast or whatever we are, to kind of, it's okay to talk about this stuff, but let's flip it around. Let's talk about positive. I would rather spend our time talking about positive things rather than how everybody's out to fuck each other and we're not getting represented and all this stuff.
But I don't feel like that's so.
It just feels very negative to me, and I kind of don't want to be about that.
All right. Well, if you want to talk about something else, we can do that. However, it's not negative to talk about the problems of society. if you go into the problems of society with the attitude of there's nothing we can do about it, I'm talking about bringing people together. And here we are, like, for example, Tracy talking about the electoral college. Like, I think that was like, we all like shared our opinions. We all spoke intelligently. We discussed things. So I don't see what was negative about that.
I don't know. It just seems, I just felt like we went down a kind of a negative, got to a negative place because we're talking about a thing it affects us all. Usually it's negative, but I think it just feels like everybody's got like sort of a negative mindset on kind of all this stuff. Now let's think about like what the government does that's good, like rebuild the Sanibel Causeway or rebuild the Mount Lachey Bridge.
Yeah, but
with taxpayer money. Or
don't you think that a lot of the reason why people like, I think that people have like legitimate problems and they don't feel like they're heard, or they want to change things.
Absolutely.
And like, I think bringing people together where we can all find a happy medium and agree and discuss things intelligently, I think that that's a positive thing. I would argue that it's the opposite of what you're saying. Like,
but I don't think you get there by saying, well, Bill Gates is out to harm people. Bill Gates put a charitable thing together so he could help people against malaria in Africa. I mean, his having that much money, you had a enormous responsibility. I'm not saying the guy didn't go to the island or any of this stuff. I'm just saying that, like, I think people inherently are good. I don't think they're smart, because I'm part of this. I said that people are dumb. I think people are inherently good, and I think to think that all politicians are awful or all this or all that. And I get it.
But that's not what's happening here. I mean, you just double down on Bill Gates, right? So like, and you're talking about Bill Gates giving people malaria shots. The same Bill Gates who the same Bill Gates who talked about solving problems with population problems with vaccines.
I'm not saying I agree with the guy.
But I'm just saying that you're allowed to make your points and they're valid. And it's not a negative thing if I disagree with you. It's a negative thing if it turns ugly. It's a negative thing if we can't treat each other with respect.
I guess what I was saying.
And I think it's an even more
negative. The topics tonight we turned kind of ugly.
I don't think that the topics have turned ugly, but I think that we've talked about some topics that people are passionate about. If you don't want to talk about those topics, that's a different story. But I don't think that anything that's happened here tonight is negative. I think people are talking about their feelings. I don't think people are like, oh, woe is me, the world is out. Like we're trying to come together. And I think people are, and I understand not wanting to be negative, but I also think that I don't see this as being negative. If you do and you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But I don't agree with you that it's negative. I think that there's times where political conversations do get negative, and it's where people will start making personal attacks on the person they're talking to, or and I think it's important. I think it's a really positive thing to show people you can disagree and have an intelligent, respectful conversation. I think that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think we're seeing it differently, but because you said you're not interested, or because it was upsetting you, I'm going to try to slide off of it, but I want to respond to the comments. I do have a lot that I would like to say, but I'm going to let it go.
I think it starts with Ann's, we have too many people or something.
It's even more. No, I don't want to believe. Tracy, Ann says amen, Tracy, but the popular vote. Okay, think about this. Bill Gates is actually brilliant. He's fulfilling the dreams. We talked about that of the elite one by one. Oh, I get that the reason, but in Massachusetts alone, they voted 11 times the way they wanted to, and not the popular vote for the entire state. I just don't feel that is right. Yeah, well, but again, it's the electorates. It's yeah. I wish we were just living in smaller communities where we could all just talk to each other. Let's start our hippie commune. So her point is that even in states with Massachusetts that are heavily populous, the electorates have gone a different way than the voters. And she raises a valid point. The system is certainly not perfect, but let's come up with a better one. Let's do that, right? Let's come up with a better solution and present it. Anne says, we have too many people of this earth. We've done some damage. Gates wants to cull the earth. He's completing the elite mission. So he's brilliant in that essence. I don't necessarily disagree with you. But to Doug's point, a little negative. And saying it's real, Doug. None of us are speaking negatively. I mean, I think sometimes the tone can get negative, but I think that I think people have concerns about things, and those concerns are valid. And I think that a lot of people have some concerns about Bill Gates. Anne says, Doug, I would walk away because I don't want to hear it. I still try to put a little bit of positive on the negative I found to be real. I like to have intelligent conversations with people that challenge me. If it's negative, like it's just not what I view as negative, but it sometimes can get negative because of how people handle the conversation. Tracy says, well, politics can be negative, but this is how we learned and listen to each other's opinions. And politics is one topic where we always were told, don't talk about that. So I think we should end that and talk more about it. Listen, Doug doesn't want to talk about it. We're going to try to move on. But I will say that I thought that what happened tonight, where we had an intelligent conversation about issues, I thought it was a good thing. And Anne says he's brilliant because people think he's a good person. I don't think he's a good person. And then Anne says, Doug, a couple years ago, my blood pressure would want to climb, yet I listened and learned. She doesn't get upset about it now because she knows it to be true. Well, yeah, for me, it's like what I know, and I'll I have friends that I'll talk to about the issues and be like, I cannot fucking believe this. And Zach and Christina get those phone calls. Anne's had those phone calls. But I think it's it's for me, it's more the fact that people have no clue what's happening. That they're I can go through my life and be totally fine, but then people are oblivious to it, and I'm like, you tell them and they just have no idea, or they argue with you about it, and it's you can look it up for yourself, just do your own research. And by the way, because I care. I want everyone to be happy. Tracy says maybe we could hold the Electoral College to only 8 years and not a life term. Yeah, I don't think that we should have fucking life terms for anything in political office. I think that it's inherently corrupt. I think that there should be term limits. And I think that there should be term limits. And of course, here we are, political again. Sorry. And Tracy says blissfully ignorant. That's kind of my point. But again, we're going to try to change. We're going to try to move on. So, I guess you and I will have to talk on offline about how we can talk about current events, but not be what you think is negative. So I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to pull up that I thought you would find to be entertaining on a totally different subject. Although, did you have something you wanted to say before I got going on these?
No, I'm good.
So apparently the first two things people notice about me are my eyes. And the second they notice my boobs.
And you have beautiful boobs.
Okay, how long have you known me?
12 years, something like that.
What do you think the first thing people notice about me is?
Well, now I will say your thick hair.
Oh my God, that was so funny. You have to tell them that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the very nice people we met at Costco, the woman's like, your hair is so thick. Was just like that.
She didn't believe it was my hair.
It can't be yours.
She was literally, that cannot be your hair.
That cannot be your hair.
I'm like,
yeah. And she's like, no, it isn't. So we had to talk. They were unbelievably nice folks. And
I should have let her touch my hair. I don't care if you want. By the way, if you meet me and you want to touch my hair, you can touch my hair. It feels. Here, touch it. Tell them what it feels like.
It feels like how do you even it feels like rope, right?
Like a macrame hanger.
Like when you have a natural fiber rope, right? Like what used to climb in gym.
Yeah.
Only it isn't tight, right? Like when you grab it, it squeezes a little. It's got give to it. You can actually get kind of flat. Anyway,
and sometimes they feel scratchy because I need to oil them, but right now they're nice and soft.
But anyways, they're I think it's delightful. I like your thick hair.
Thank you. I have favorite ones. Some are extra squishy. I like the squishy ones the best. And they have little squishier spots in some of them. It just depends on how they were crocheted. So yeah, she didn't believe it was my hair. But what I didn't believe is this woman was a fox and a half. The husband was too, by the way. They move into the fucking villages. They're going to have a line around the block. They're from Boca, though.
We had to explain about the villages and about swinging to them.
Yeah, I'm dude, you don't even know.
They didn't know what they were talking about.
People would be all over
the stuff we talked about with strangers in the store.
it gets crazy.
It gets a little crazy.
It's a little crazy. See, I'm busy today. I don't know what to do with myself. I want to look pretty for you guys.
What do they treat the gymnasium ropes with? Maybe I'm onto something. Figure out what they treat the gymnasium ropes.
Prepubescent sperm. That's what they treat the gymnasium ropes with.
I don't think there is such a thing
Please
as prepubescent sperm.
not,
I think you have to go through puberty in order to produce the sperm.
I don't even know how it works.
All right. Well,
all I can say is
Trace
I don't
know.
want to put that in my hair.
All right. So here's the thing. I did watch it's kind of an old one now, and I've seen it before. But they had it was a documentary about the Hindenburg, and they figured out kind of like what they kind of figured out what happened. And one of the things, the theories is when they dropped the mooring ropes down, and it was raining, and eventually the mooring ropes became a conductor from the ground to the airship. And the airship built up static electricity on its trek across the, and it arced on one of the metal frames, and kaboom. Anyway, so you guys don't care about that. But anyways,
so what you're saying
they were talking about this hemp rope.
Hang on. So what you're saying is I'm a blimp and I'm going to explode.
No, I was saying that if you're in the rain and this touches the ground and you have static electricity, you might blow up.
That's basic. Is that not what I just said?
No, you said you were a blimp, and I had said nothing about that.
I didn't say you said I was well, maybe I didn't.
You did.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway.
So can we get to the comments and then we'll loop back?
Yeah.
Because we do need to talk about this. Todd says, how about those Niners? We're about to get there.
How about those Lions? Oh, what heartbreak.
And Tracy says, like a spongy rope. Yep. And then Tracy says, sweaty palms is what they treat the ropes in gym. Well, that would be a more rational explanation than mine, but I think that when the expression is like when we used to climb the rope in gym class, it would make you feel like funny. And like when you're a teenage boy, you're kind of walking around with a boner all the time, right?
I remember I think it was 8th, 9th grade or whatever.
Walking around school with a boner?
Gym teacher comes out and he's like, you guys might want to invest in a jock strap. So I was like looking around like, what the fuck do we need a jock strap to do stupid shit in gym? Well, sometimes you climb those ropes and girls are looking up, and I'm like, hey.
Did you show them?
I didn't show anything.
You didn't show anybody your berries?
I didn't show anything to anybody. I didn't buy a jock either. I've never.
Ann says, I was just talking about the villages today with my client. He's an awesome guy. We were both respectful. That's awesome. Tracy, actually, that is fascinating.
The Hindenburg situation.
It is fascinating. It is fascinating.
So cool.
So, okay, back to Todd's point. How about those Niners? I will pull that up on the screen for anybody who may be scrolling by. So, as you know, Doug has fallen into a deep depression because the Buffalo Bills are once again, out.
Although after the
you've had time to calm down.
After the Ravens laid a big egg, it kind of was frustrating because we could have beat them, and then but the Chiefs were that good and nobody was beating them. So
roll back for a minute.
It made me feel like
roll back for a second.
It made me feel like good.
Can we roll back for a second? Do you feel better about the Bills' performance because of the way this weekend's games went? Is that what you're saying?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you feel better about, okay. Are you like feeling better about how the Bills played?
I'm feeling that they did as well as they could. I was proud of them.
And are you feeling like there's got to be a healthier way to watch sports?
I just, it's like anything that you love. Like when I look at you and you're having a bad day and I can't handle it, it's kind of the same thing when I'm watching when I'm watching my team.
I get it, but like you have to choose your thoughts, right? Like we talked about that.
Absolutely.
So the NFL is rigged.
Well, that's
what are you thinking? That's NFL rigged or not rigged? How do you feel today?
Do I think it's rigged? Well, I will say there's certain things that have been disproven. The purple color and the
that's not the question.
Do I think it's rigged? No, I don't think it's rigged.
You don't think it's rigged?
No, I don't think it's rigged.
Okay. I am convinced it's rigged. 100% rigged. It's rigged. Not every detail. Not the players aren't in on it. Maybe a couple players are in on it. But it's not like every player in the NFL is like, oh, it's rigged. They wouldn't go out there and play the way they do. It's rigged. all you would need, and it was so funny because I have commented on a lot of sports threads that the NFL is rigged. And some people have agreed and some people have gotten very angry. As a matter of fact, one person said, why don't you work on your podcast? They have way more. It's the most watched show on television. Why don't you go work on your podcast? First of all, motherfucker, I have a chronic illness and I can barely function sometimes. And sometimes my husband is an asshole and I have to kill him. Okay. First of all. Second of all, that was mean. And it was unnecessary. Why do you need to defend the NFL? What do you care if some idiot on the internet says the NFL is rigged? But here's the thing. I said the NFL is rigged to a lot of people recently. And a lot of people start off and they're like, no way it's rigged. And the more they pay attention and look for themselves, the more people have come back to me and been like, you know what? You might be onto something, or you're right, or it's so rigged. Now, if that happens to correlate with your team losing, perhaps you're just being the sore loser. But if you are watching things and realizing, wait a second, no, I think that crazy bitch might have a point. And so we had this conversation. Yeah. So your thing is that they disproved. You started to say the purple.
Oh, the purple in the Super Bowl logo.
So
They've been talking. Well, there was a conspiracy theory that these two teams were going to be because they changed the colors of the Super Bowl logo midway through the season, which. Yeah, it could have been because I think the first one was orange, and then when Joe Burrow went out, well, obviously the Bengals aren't going to make it. So then they turned it, and at the time, the number one seed in the AFC was the Ravens, which was purple, and then there was a red color, so they just figured that was the Niners. So, anyways, it didn't quite pan out that way. But the Chiefs are red, and nobody's purple, and the Niners are red. So, who knows?
So the long and the short of that is, I just want to make sure I'm understanding. The long and that short of it is, there is a conspiracy theory that
they changed the color of the logo
to coincide with the teams.
Yeah.
And you're saying that it wasn't true.
Well, it didn't pan out to be true because if it was true, the Ravens would be playing the Niners.
So, okay. But it's also possible that they decided to change it because everybody under the sun was realizing
maybe they changed it because they're getting some impressions from one Taylor Swift, who is a Chiefs fan.
And what was the meme that they had that was like, it wasn't even a meme. It was like a photo somebody had taken of their TV and it said that certain teams were going to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And that was the Ravens and the Niners. So again.
So it's possible. Disproved, or it's possible that because everybody said that the NFL is rigged, that they changed it at the last minute. All I can tell you is this. I said from the minute Taylor Swift rolled onto this whole NFL scene, this is what they're doing to try to bring back ratings after the whole Kaepernick disaster. And by the way,
I don't think it suffered as much as you think it did.
I know it did. There was all kinds of reports about it. One. Two, I know a shitload of people, Huddy, Brent, etc., who no longer watch football because of their political values.
Okay, you can pull up the numbers. I'm just saying that I don't think it affected things as much as you think it is, and the fact that they just sold a playoff game to Peacock for some ungodly number of hundreds of millions of dollars.
Because to your original point on this podcast tonight, Taylor Swift has increased the value of the NFL exponentially. So hear me out. I understand that you don't believe that the NFL is rigged, and I understand that you have to argue with everything I say because I'm always wrong. But I have read multiple articles about this. And to your point, Taylor Swift has brought in revenue. The NFL is a business and a business that didn't pay taxes.
It's an entertainment business.
A lot of them, it's like the blah, blah, blah entertainment. So they're not, there's a lot of credible points, whether you agree with them or not, to be made about the NFL being rigged. So I said Taylor Swift was going to the Super Bowl. There's going to be some sort of wedding announcement after, or engagement announcement shortly after the Super Bowl, maybe even at the Super Bowl, because that'll be fucking brilliant for ratings because they're selling more fucking Kelsey jerseys than they know what to do with. And I think that it's done year after year. And and it's very interesting that both Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift have been very, what's the word I'm looking for? Open about supporting, for example, Taylor Swift had baked Biden cookies and put it on her Instagram. And Jason Kelsey has earned the nickname Mr. Pfizer. So it's just really interesting that it's coming the way together the way it is. And we talked to the guy at Costco, and I said, the NFL is rigged. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And then he said, do you remember what he said?
No, I don't remember what he said.
He said that Taylor Swift's footprint, her green footprint, is a problem. And so she's trying to make a better, what's the word I'm looking for?
By dating a football player.
Yeah, that she's like trying to like smooth over the fact that she's jetting from here to there. But she's jetting from here to there now with her tour, between the tour and the game. So she's actually making her green footprint worse. But I thought it was an interesting theory.
Yeah. I all I know is that she wants to be at the game, and if I had her money, which she earned, I would fly to the game to see my girlfriend in the
sure,
game, or my wife or whatever. But so be that as it may, she can still tout the environment and things of that nature. Maybe she's not talking the talk or walking the walk as much as we would like her to be, but I'm not exactly sure how you would keep up that level of a career and be super green about it. But McCartney does some stuff, so he does some stuff to remain green and vegan and all these other stuff.
I mean, I think that there's being at the game, like I think there's being there to support your boyfriend, like yeah, of course. And she really can't fly commercial. She really can't. I mean, like she has to have security in her whole entourage.
Commercial.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. She could fly commercial.
Anyway, so
but McCartney's not getting the kind of attention that this young girl is.
Not anymore.
Not at this point.
So the thing I read today was that she has a concert in Tokyo or something, and so she's gonna have to come back for the game or something.
Yeah, she'll just barely make it.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
But the thing for me is like, I think that she could. I mean, the relationship is somewhat new, but like the way that you schedule these tours, you can try to be more responsible the way you schedule your tours, in terms of how they're spaced out or how much travel time there is or whatever. Like it, I think if you're going to be, coming out as like, oh, I'm this environmentalist or like I'm pro these policies, you don't want to be a hypocrite when you're in the public eye. I don't think anybody should be a hypocrite, but I think
I don't know. I don't know what she should be doing that she isn't doing. I don't see her as, I don't know. I don't know what else she could be doing that she's not doing.
Oh, dude, I don't know either. But I know.
Or is she harming the environment?
The whole thing. Listen, these elites, Taylor Swift included, going everywhere on private jets. Are private jets being used irresponsibly in this country? Yes.
Well, I mean, the whole thing was brought up
back.
Al Gore had a jet or something, and he's like, "Oh, there's all emissions, stuff like that."
Well, I mean, but it's like how you and I talk about. We're talking about my Jeep and how like everybody's like all electric cars or whatever, and like they're good for the environment and blah blah blah. Do your research. You dig in a little bit about the process to get the batteries and the materials that go into the vehicles. Not as environmentally sound as you think. And by the way, where do they get their electricity from? But we were talking about how, like, my Jeep is dual fuel, burns oil and gas, although not so much.
No,
fix it.
But
that oil and gas,
fuel, green footprint.
No, that now, because we don't really go anywhere. Like we're so much more environmentally friendly than a million people driving fucking Uber in their Prius. Like we're fairly environmentally friendly. So it's really, about, just trying to do your best and, don't do it for optics. Don't do the right thing because it feels good for you. I have this like hiccup coming in.
Oh, careful. What? You want me to read comments?
I get the comments, but I would like for you to, there's a bunch. A game, Mahomes and the Chiefs. So the first game was
the Chiefs
versus the
Ravens.
And we wanted the Ravens to win, but the Chiefs won.
I wanted the Ravens to win only because they haven't been in 10 years. So
I am sick of the whole. I like Taylor Swift fine. I don't have a problem with her. I think she's talented. But I think it just makes it abundantly clear that the NFL is rigged. And then, but so, I was sad that Jason Kelsey didn't take his shirt off again because I thought that was hilarious last week. And like it's like Disney. Like I know that the NFL is rigged, but there's things about it that I just really like. And Tracy says, "Oh boy, does it turn over in the end zone?"
Oh, yeah, the guy turned it over into the end zone, and I knew the game was over then. Even actually, Romo did too, and he said that, but then he had to backtrack. He's like, but we have 11 minutes left in this game, then anything can happen." Anyways, yeah, that was brutal. And actually, the same thing happened to the Chiefs in the Bills game the week before. He fumbled into the end zone and out, so it was a touchback. So twice in 2 weeks, and nobody likes that rule, but I think it's fair. I think it's a fair rule.
Tracy says it is so good, just like the it's so rigged, just like the WWE. And Todd says the NFL may be rigged, but not as rigged as the things in the WWE. So it just goes to show that when you're commenting on our page, you can be commenting from wherever you are. We pull your comments up on screen, but you may not be seeing each other. So they're not seeing each other, they're disagreeing. So there's a fight, really, between two master haters here, live on Marital Hate. And then Tracy says, there's still even more comments. I wonder if there will be a Taylor Swift proposal for a Super Bowl win. I think so.
I don't think so.
And Tracy says, Anne says, flying during a game, I wonder what could go wrong that would bring in money. Oh, well, I don't think that she's going to disappear, but I don't know. There's a lot of people that believe that certain people have made themselves disappear in planes, like JFK Jr.
Oh, speaking of, there was a sonar image, and they think it might be Amelia Earhart's plane 100 miles off the Solomon Islands. It's cool. I gotta follow it.
That would be very cool. We'll be following that. We definitely should start wrapping up because it's 9:41.
And it's freezing out here, guys.
Yeah, we might freeze to death. It's like 50.
It's freezing.
Tracy said he's under a heated electric blanket, by the way.
I am. I have my electric blanket.
I am not. Thank you for offering that to me.
Well,
it's actually 53. And Tracy says, I would like a Jetson car, please. I don't know. How far are you going to be driving? You're going to be going from like your concert in Singapore to the goddamn football game? Because
by the way, my former CEO was a Chiefs fan, and he looked up Vivid Seats yesterday, and tickets to the Super Bowl were $6,000. I looked today; they're at $11,000. Actually, I thought they were going to be cheaper today because I thought the Lions fans were buying them all up.
Know who's buying them? Taylor Swift fans.
Maybe, but here's the thing: Vegas is going to be insane on Super Bowl weekend. So that would I would just go just to be in that environment.
People watch. We do enjoy a good people watch. Anne says, Doug, I love you because I know what you're thinking. Exactly. I've done some of my own research and that got me asking questions. The questions brought some good information. And Tracy says, I just like Mahomes. If he was on my team, I would root for them.
Well, I don't know if you're going to like Mahomes for very long, Tracy, because all day today, all the big sports commentators are starting to say Mahomes is the greatest that ever played the game. They're saying, well, you can't say he's the GOAT because it's Tom Brady. Because look, the numbers up till now, and if you match their careers, Mahomes is crazy way ahead. Eyeball tells you that Mahomes is a better athlete, a better quarterback. So
the greatest of a couple of years.
So, anyways,
like a goalie or something.
My dream in life would be to basically someone. Hopefully Josh Allen will break every record. And they actually just did this week. Kelsey and Mahomes, they broke, I think it was last week, they broke the number of playoff completions, and that was held by Gronk and Brady in the playoffs in the postseason. And then they rebroke it some other scoring record or something this week. So anyways, it excites me that there's a new GOAT in town.
And then Tracy says, oh, how cool would it be that if Amelia, they found her.
Although the fact that cannibals ate her was a pretty good theory as well.
It's funny when you have a conspiracy, it's hilarious. But if I have a conspiracy,
I'm not saying that's my theory. I'm just saying it's a fun. Cannibals are funny. I'm sorry.
I understand that, but I'm saying that we're just trying to talk, and you thought it was negative, and I don't think it was. Tracy says maybe, but if I had a Jetson car, I could go anywhere I wanted,
and it would make a cool noise. Woo!
Right.
Oh, it's so cool.
And she says he is a head in Brady and stats, but he didn't do it first.
What are you, Charles Lindbergh over there? Why are we talking about old aviators tonight?
I have no idea, but I will say this: it is 9:44, so it's like way past our bedtime. But I do, I don't want to just blow off, because we had a lot to talk about tonight without Wes's input. But our son Wesley gave us, my stepson Doug's son.
Well, we did talk about AFC Championship.
We did talk about the AFC Championship. He gave us some topics. He talked about gas prices in Florida are apparently up.
They went up like 27 cents over like
the past 18 cents in the last week.
Oh.
So I'm sorry, the average price of gas 17.9 cents last week according to Gas Buddy survey, but that's the entire
state.
That's the entire state. Yeah. So it's 4.9 cents higher than this time a month ago, but there are 3.3 cents less than a year ago. So the bottom line is gas is expensive here in Florida, and Florida is a big ass state. So they're as low as $2.67 a gallon. And if you're somewhere in Florida that has that, please tell us where it is. And some prices as high as $4.99. I think we're like high threes right now.
Well, don't they tend to go up in the winter anyway because of home heating oil prices and that stuff? Doesn't it?
The demand is up, yes. Yeah. But why specifically Florida? I don't know. See, this is the problem.
It doesn't say. Yeah.
This article really didn't have a lot of information. It was just a little blurb.
I've noticed that like articles with the headlines say like find out who won the Golden Bachelor, and then you read it and it doesn't say who won the gold.
What I should have done is pulled up the actual article while I did that, right? That's what I should have done. It's been like, here's the article. So if you want to see the article, there it is from News Channel 8 on our side, brought to us by Wesley, our I don't know what the word he is, our special, our current
our
events,
media cohort.
I don't know. Wes, tell us who you want us to call you.
He's aggregating the top stories.
He does. Yeah, he pulls together some stories for us. So then he also told me about Next Level Chef on Fox, which is the show where like the food falls and there's a new season coming out. It'll be their
and you have to take an elevator up or something, or each level you have to like get to the top level.
I have found that show to be stupid. And kind of gross because it's like this idea of like the best is on the top, and the drudges down to the people at the bottom. But you and I, the elite. But
we do like ourselves some cooking shows. Sometimes you'll learn from them. That was the thing with that show in particular. You couldn't really learn from it. Like other shows, they kind of say, like the people will say, well, I added some acid to this to make it brighter or what, stuff like that. Whereas this show is just like kind of a fury of like grabbing stuff and cooking it, and there wasn't really a lot of explanation.
I didn't love it, but maybe we should give it another shot.
Let
us know if we should give it another shot.
Any fans?
I don't know if we should or should not, so we need to know from you. And then he talked to me. Groundhog Day is this Friday
coming up.
Doesn't really matter to us. It's usually 83 degrees. Today it's a little cold, but it'll pass.
So Wes and I actually had a conversation about groundhog. And he's like, where the hell did predicting the weather come from a groundhog? Where he's thinking, like the groundhog's no scientist.
Wesley, drugs. Somebody was high off their fucking ass.
So I think what it probably came from, and I'm thinking about this and what.
Oh, he did. He shared the article. You know what? He shared the article. That's why I sent you everything so you could read it.
So thinking back to the day, this is my guess is that. Like, how like every once in a while you get a good crop of squirrels because it's going to be a long winter, or like maybe groundhogs had a thicker coat or something. I don't know, but I don't know where the shadow.
I will tell you, I have the whole story about Groundhog Day here, and we will cover it on Groundhog Day. If y'all can remind me, Wesley, if you're watching, please remind me on Friday.
Well, the weird thing is that article was from Savannah, Georgia. Wouldn't you think it would be coming from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania?
Well, I don't know. Just because they didn't go to college for it doesn't mean they don't know about it, Doug.
I don't know. The groundhog didn't go to college, and everybody flocks to see what he wants to say about the weather.
Just saying.
Blue collar.
Just
groundhog.
Saying. I do want to share this last one that he brought in with us. Which was the last night's snowstorm. Looks like Pittsfield got 5 inches out, so that they did it by county.
Yeah,
Berkshire got it. But Bristol County, Norton got 0.1 of an inch. Essex, way up north. Franklin County, we don't even know anybody in these places. Hampden County, way out west.
That looked like Plainfield,
Hampshire.
In Plainfield, New Hampshire.
No, it's Hampshire County, not New Hampshire.
Hampshire County, Where's Plainfield? The
It's
Berkshires?
East Hampton, North Amherst. It's
Oh, yeah,
Western
it's
Mass.
out there. Yeah.
Middlesex County. So Tewksbury got 4.4. Lowell, 4
You
inches.
pronounce that right.
Billerica,
3.8.
3.8. Burlington, 2.2. Lexington, 2.1. Bedford,
And it's all
only got
gone
2
because it's
inches.
like 40 degrees. There.
I'm telling you this. When I lived in Bedford, we called it the Bedford Blizzard Belt because we would get like a foot of snow and everybody else would have like a quarter inch.
Hold
Like,
my beer. I'm from
Arlington
Worcester.
has a quarter inch. We would have way more than you guys. It was bonkers. So anyway, Norfolk had a little bit. Randolph had 0.6. Millis 1.4. Suffolk,
Paxton, 6.
Dustin. Ashburnham. They had 8.4. Holden. Dick Hertz from Holden ain't shoveling because
Shout out to Buzzy.
Shout out to her from George.
10 inches, baby.
George has, in fact, 7 inches.
Yeah.
George only has 7 inches, honey. You're like 8.5.
Well, our friend Jasbo, the landscaper, he would make money plowing. So every storm, we say, "Hey, how much snow, Jasbo?" And he'd go, 10 inches, baby, which took on a life of its own because we would be laughing. He didn't know what the hell we were talking about.
You didn't know, or you just
no, he had no idea.
So in any case,
then it became a thing, and then it was everything was 10 inches.
Worcester,
yeah,
Worcester,
yeah. What they get?
2.3.
2.3.
So Situate, nothing.
Fiskdale, I didn't
nothing
even know
in
there
Situate.
was a
Although I
Fiskdale.
heard that there's been some flooding, and there's been flooding. The harbor was underwater.
Harbor was.
Zach and I were talking about. We're like, oh, it's Tuesday. Of course, the harbor's underwater. So it's 9:51. We went very late tonight, because we missed you guys and we love you. And let's see if we have any more comments. He's ahead of Brady in stats. Yeah, stupid gas prices are up. Yeah, I bet you're noticing it. F250 or F150.
One probably. I think it was a 1.
Todd says Florida still has ways to go to catch up to California and gas prices. Yeah. It's like one of those reasons to be glad you're losing your sight. Not that you could,
because you can't see gas prices.
Can't see the gas prices. You don't have to drive. Like that shit is bonkers. They've got so many fucking taxes. I don't know how people do it. Tracy says it's gone down. Tracy Ann says it's gone down to $2.85 a gallon here. I hope you guys know the fact that I confuse you constantly. It's a compliment because I love you both.
It's somebody.
Tracy Ann says that's awesome, Wes. Can't see writing glasses, so may be errors. LOL. I hear you. And I think she means reading or maybe writing. Yeah, why do they call them reading glasses, not writing glasses?
I don't know.
You need them for both. Tracy says there's supposed to be a biblical proportion of cicadas this year. That'll be interesting. I am truly thankful for seeing your awesome faces. Oh yeah, we're getting ready to do gratitude. So what are you guys thankful for? We want to hear it. I'm truly grateful for seeing your awesome faces. I'm thankful that it's staying later and it's now docked by 4 p.m. like it would be in Mask. We don't have that down here. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for friends checking in on me. I checked in on her today, and it is, in fact, an F-150.
F-150.
By the way, if you're a business owner, good truck to own because you can write that shit off.
Write it.
So gratitude. What are you grateful for?
Grateful for, I had like 6 things before you even asked me.
Well, they'll come to you. We're grateful for everybody who supports the podcast. Thank you so much. It's growing. It's been growing. We're doing well. If you could follow us on the socials and tell your friends and maybe even write a review for us, we would really appreciate it. We're really trying to do something.
Only a good review. We don't want your crappy review, lady.
You can write whatever you want. We just really trying to grow the podcast. It would be nice if we could make some money one day. It would be nice if we could make enough money to have a hippie commune /cult, or I would love to start nonprofits to help sick people pay for illnesses and maybe help bring people together in community and help kids in the autism spectrum to live independently, all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the amazing, Doug made freaking salmon for lunch today. Absolutely amazing, healthy meal.
Came out here, picked some fresh basil from our little herb garden.
And believe it or not, mayonnaise on the top of the fish in the oven. That's easy, right?
It's very easy.
And then
I like to make it look hard.
And the broccoli?
The broccoli was air fry broccoli. You toss it in some avocado oil. Throw
recipe.
Some a little garlic and onion powder on there for a little flavor. Then when it comes out, I put a little lemon butter on it. It
was very good. And then we had for dinner the buffalo chicken quesadilla
with the extra protein. It's very good.
I just want to make the protein ranch next time. I want to see how that is because that will give us even more protein.
Yeah.
And then we could eat it with like
like
We just have so much
carrots.
protein, we turn into the Hulk.
No, but we could like dip carrots in it. Okay, and then what's the other one?
I want to turn into the Hulk.
That was lunch and dinner, and I'm thankful. Oh, I found a bronzer that I had laying around, and I used it to contour my turkey necks. I'm grateful for that.
Yawning.
I'm grateful for all the nice people we met this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for Jesse at Bank of America.
I'm grateful
And my $8
that we got out and about and the sun felt good. And that amazing Mexican food. I was thankful for there was just a lot of stuff. I was thankful that we enjoyed watching the football. There was no stress. Whatever happened. Also thankful that the Bills rehired their interim offensive coordinator who did well for them the second half of last year. So there's one less variable.
Are you thankful that you got a new credit card today?
I did. I didn't even know it was coming, but that was a present for me. And now I got to work
if you
to
have,
pay the fee.
If you have a Chase, Amazon or Whole Foods card, which I have, because it gives us 5% back on those purchases. They had a thing, if you added an authorized user to your card, you got $20.
Bing.
And the funny thing is, I would normally have added Doug from the beginning, but I totally forgot to do it. And so when that came in, I was like, jackpot. And so we got $20.
Free chicken at Whole Foods.
That's right. Fucking over corporate America, one bank at a time. Right. We're really not fucking them over. We just occasionally get a little money. And then Trace says, F-150. And I'm thankful. We already did the F-150. I'm thankful this beautiful toilet seat. It's not fancy like the one I got you guys, but I'm not falling off the seat now. I need to hang that up. I don't know how to do it.
Maybe I need to drive to Lumberyard, Georgia, and paint on their toilet seat. Like do like some sort of thing. Oh, maybe a bedazzler. Maybe you could do it yourself and get a little bit.
What do you think they would like? Is
Lumberyard?
Hang on a second.
I know what it is.
Hey, well, you work in the lumberyard there, and if you walk down the street, all the people you meet, they'll say hello, and you can say hello, and they'll say,
"Come sit next to me, you fly fellow."
That'd be nice. But like if we go to visit Tracy and we like go to her house, like is she gonna be afraid that if we go in the bathroom, we're gonna paint on the toilet seats? And also, would she be mad if we painted on the seats? Like, is it rude if like your friend comes over and they love you and they paint your toilet seat? Yeah. And also, what kind, like, do you need to use like paintbrushes or can we get those paint markers? Because you could just have those in your pocket and you can go in the bathroom.
If it's markers, it's graffiti. If it's paint, it's.
Here's the thing that's really cool. Can I tell you what's really cool?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we're wrapping up, but I had an idea and I thought it was really cool.
Okay, what's your idea?
So you have the paint markers. You put them in your pocket, right?
All right.
And like we're there. We're like, thank you for having us.
And you're like, I gotta go drop a deuce.
No. Shh, you're a boy, right? So you're gonna go in there. The first time you go in there, you're gonna go lift the seat up. You lift the seat up and you paint under the seat because they don't lift their toilet seat up. They won't even know you did it. Know. And by the way, there probably isn't going to be any pee under the lip, which is nice. And
you know what would be funny?
What?
Help, the lesbians are holding me hostage in the basement. Put it back down. Panic ensues.
Damn, lesbians have me trapped in the basement. And every time we go to the bathroom, we could paint a little bit more. But we put the lid down. And then the last time, right before we go, we paint it up. And then one day, the police come to their house for some reason, and they lift the seat up to pee. And then they think Doug's in the basement. And then because there's like no basement in their house, they literally dig up underneath the house. They have to rip their house down because the police think.
Look at this right here. This is a big one.
Larry the pool guy. It says, "Hey yo, long time." I've been
it has been. Hope everything's
wrapping up.
Doing well over there.
We have missed you.
We'll take you back.
Says, nope, I'm not that kind of person. She's not the kind of person that would get mad at us for painting on her toilet seat.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. Or maybe
but then again, now that I think of it, it's kind of dumb. Like if you were held hostage in the basement by a couple of lesbians, would that be your only like? It's not a really good way to get out of that situation. By writing it on.
Just know that the seats never. Yeah, because if they have to have a plumber or an electrician over, they use the bathroom.
That's the only person that would help.
But they only have one bathroom, so they might notice.
And right when they read it, one of them conks the guy over the head with his own wrench and brings him down the basement. Now there's two of us in the basement.
Tracy would take off her back brace and hit him with it. She is this, by the way. It's so pretty. Like I want her back braces at like a fashion accessory. And she says, I would think my friends really love me. Your friends do really love you.
Look at that.
And
what if it was shitty artwork? It's like
she
a
would
stick
think that your
figure.
friends are like stupid and they really love her. And Anne says, I think somehow the toilet seat would make a good mirror on the wall. It's so unique. That's the plan for it. We just haven't gotten to it. We're terrible at hanging things, and we're talking about modifying and getting a mirror done and then having to hang it in a rental. Like, it may have to wait a little while, but it's like leaning in Doug's office, so we see it every day.
I see it every day.
And Tracy says, laughing my ass off. That's hilarious. You're hilarious. And she says, I do tend to clean my toilet.
And then she thinks
cleans the
Becky's
toilet.
got a guy in the basement.
Becky doesn't have a guy in the basement.
Well, because she didn't put the guy in the basement, so it must be Becky.
Okay, of Tracy and Becky,
Tracy.
for sure.
Yeah.
You're more likely to put someone in the basement. Yeah. We love you. All right, everyone, we're going to sleep. It's 10 o'clock. It's past our bedtime. We love you.
I go do a
We've
temperature
missed
check.
you. It's 53.
I can't be out here.
We're going to fall out of the
I
tree
see my breath
on the ground like an iguana. That's what they do. They get cold, they fall on the ground. It's hilarious. Anyway, good night. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. And hopefully you have a great night. Love you. Tell your friends. She says,